Imagine running a business where every time a new employee walks through the door, there's like a 90% chance they're going to quit before the year is out.
Yeah, it's just a terrifying statistic.
Right. And now imagine that every single time one of them walks out that door, it costs you up to $12,000.
It's a systemic hemorrhage.
Yeah,
Really, we're looking at an operational crisis here that fundamentally threatens our physical economy.
exactly. I mean, the vast, invisible circulatory system of asphalt and 18-wheelers that, keeps our grocery store shelves stocked and hospitals supplied, it is dangerously losing pressure.
Yeah, it really is.
So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are taking you right into the cab of that massive 80,000-pound machine. And our roadmap today is a deeply insightful piece of source material.
Hmm.
It's titled The Fleet Frontier, Navigating the Driver Shortage Crisis, and it was published by Responsible Fleet.
And, the value of this specific analysis is that it moves entirely past the panic.
Right, totally.
It ignores all those breathless headlines about supply chain doom, and it focuses strictly on the mechanics of survival, which is what we need right now.
Absolutely. So, our mission for this deep dive is to uncover the, well, counterintuitive strategies that smart fleets are actually using to survive this exodus. Because, spoiler alert, the solution to the driver shortage isn't simply running more job ads.
Oh, definitely not.
It requires a radical structural shift in both technology and workplace culture.
Because the implications here go far beyond just logistics. Solving this specific bottleneck requires a total reevaluation of blue-collar retention across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes the entire power dynamic between a worker, their digital tools, and the corporation they drive for.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we can explore the bleeding edge solutions, we really have to look at the brutal math of the traditional approach.
We do. The numbers are grim.
They really are.
Yeah.
The latest data from the American Trucking Associations, the ATA, it paints a staggering picture. We are currently sitting on a shortage of roughly 80,000 drivers.
And the trajectory is steep. If the current friction in the industry remains unresolved, projections indicate that void will double.
Wow.
Yeah, exceeding 160,000 missing drivers by 2031.
That's just wild.
But, the sheer volume of the shortage is really only a symptom of the actual disease, which is the retention failure.
Right. And the turnover rates are what really blew my mind. For the large truckload carriers, like those massive fleets you see constantly on the interstate, annual turnover is hovering near 90%.
Unbelievable.
Even the smaller, more nimble fleets, which historically hold on to their people a bit better, they're bleeding out at a rate of 60 to 70% a year.
Yeah, which is still incredibly high.
It's unsustainable. Relying purely on recruiting in this environment is like running a subscription streaming service with a 90% churn rate.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
You'd go completely bankrupt spending millions to acquire new users every month just to replace the ones canceling their accounts. I mean, you have to plug the leaky bucket.
Let's put some real financial weight behind that leaky bucket, actually. Replacing a single commercial driver costs a fleet between $8,000 and $12,000.
Wait, $12,000 for one driver?
For one single driver.
Oh.
Because that is not just the hard cost of placing a help wanted ad.
Right.
That figure accounts for the recruiter's salary, the background checks, the onboarding process, the specialized training, and the massive opportunity cost of a truck just sitting idle in a gravel lot, generating zero revenue for weeks.
Wow. So if you scale that up to a, I guess, relatively modest operation, say a fleet of 50 trucks, losing just 10 drivers over the course of 12 months means you are vaporizing anywhere from $80,000 to $120,000
Annually.
Just completely avoidable waste.
Exactly. It is a profound misallocation of capital. Because every dollar spent on replacing a driver is a dollar stolen from the maintenance budget. Or the driver bonus pool.
Right.
Or even just the capital required to buy newer, safer trucks.
Yeah.
And this creates a vicious, self-sustaining cycle.
Oh.
Well, high turnover drains the company's financial resources, right? So because the company is cash-strapped, the quality of the job inevitably degrades. The pay stays flat, the equipment starts breaking down, the benefits shrink.
Oh, I see.
And because the day-to-day reality of the job is now objectively worse, the turnover rate accelerates even further.
Man, that's brutal. So to break that cycle, fleets have to fundamentally alter what it actually feels like to do the job.
Yes.
And counterintuitively, the primary tool for changing that human experience isn't coming from the HR department. It's coming from the hardware.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Because historically, technology in a commercial cab has been, well, Weaponized?
Right.
Fleet managers treated systems like GPS tracking and telematics as top-down compliance tools. It was a digital leash used to monitor the asset, not to actually assist the operator.
The ultimate big brother in the passenger seat.
Exactly. But the fleets that are successfully plunging their turnover rates, they're flipping that script. They're tuning telematics into a driver advocacy tool.
So it's not just a tracker anymore.
No, telematics isn't just a dot on a digital map. It's the truck's central nervous system talking to the dispatch software in real time. Smart fleets are using this constant stream of data to intelligently assign loads and, crucially, eliminate deadheading.
Oh, okay. Let's define that, because deadheading is the bane of a driver's existence.
It really is.
It's the logistical mismatch of supply and demand, right? Like, you drop off a load of consumer electronics in a city, but there is no manufacturing base there to provide an outbound load.
Exactly.
So you have to drive a 53-foot empty box hundreds of miles to the next pickup. You're burning diesel, you're burning your legally allowed driving hours, and usually making a fraction of your loaded pay rate.
It is the definition of friction. But with intelligent routing, the dispatch system cross-references a driver's available hours with regional freight networks in real time.
Oh, nice.
So if a driver's dropping off lumber in Chicago, the algorithm has already secured a load of steel heading back toward their home base before the lumber is even unloaded.
That's brilliant.
The driver doesn't drive empty. Their income remains stable. And crucially, the algorithm guarantees they actually make it home for the weekend. When technology is used to respect a driver's time, satisfaction replaces frustration.
The same logic applies to ELDs, right? The electronic logging devices.
Yes, absolutely.
Because for decades, drivers had to manage physical paper logbooks to track their federally mandated hours of service. It was stressful, prone to errors, and just ate up valuable time.
Oh, it was a nightmare.
So seamlessly integrating ELDs eliminates the clinky paperwork. It keeps the driver focused on the road rather than doing accounting in the cab at the end of an exhausting 14-hour shift.
Exactly.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because the strategy also relies heavily on AI-powered dash cameras. And I have to push back on this.
Okay, right ahead.
Because if I am a truck driver already dealing with the immense isolating pressure of highway logistics, an artificial intelligence lens pointing directly at my face feels like the pinnacle of micromanagement. I mean, I would think having a machine tracking my eye movements and judging my braking speed would make me want to toss the keys on the dispatcher's desk and walk away immediately.
Well, what's fascinating here is how the underlying mechanism of that AI completely subverts the driver's initial fear.
Really?
Yeah. You are completely right that the knee-jerk reaction is hostility. Drivers assume it's a trap. But an AI dash cam doesn't just record paths of video. It analyzes the physics of the road in real time.
Okay.
It calculates following distance down to the inch. It measures braking response in milliseconds, and it registers the exact G-force of a swerve.
So it's capturing the raw mathematical reality of the environment.
Precisely. Because in the world of commercial transit, when an 80,000-pound truck and a 4,000-pound passenger sedan collide, the default legal and cultural assumption blames the truck driver.
Always.
The lawsuits immediately target the commercial license. But the AI changes the math. When a passenger car illegally cuts across 3 lanes and brake checks a truck, the AI captures the telemetry.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, it proves mathematically that the truck driver reacted perfectly within human limits and the accident was entirely unavoidable.
It's a digital shield.
Exactly.
Instead of the company using the camera to catch the driver taking a sip of coffee or whatever, they are using the telemetry to definitively prove the driver was innocent.
The camera exonerates them. When a fleet takes that footage to the insurance company or the highway patrol and says, look, our driver did everything right, here is the indisputable proof, the technology ceases to be surveillance.
It becomes the ultimate form of corporate advocacy.
Yes. Drivers actively seek out fleets that utilize this tech because they want an employer who can mathematically defend their livelihood when chaos happens on the interstate.
Okay, so the hardware can remove the friction, the routing algorithms keep you moving and making money, the ELDs keep the compliance seamless, and the AI protects your license. But an iPad bolted to the dashboard cannot make you feel valued as a human being. The fleets actually winning the retention war are pairing this heavy tech stack with a fundamental structural overhaul of their workplace culture.
That's critical because a frictionless job is not the same thing as a supportive job.
Oh, well said.
If we look at the life cycle of a new hire, The data reveals a massive glaring danger zone. The first 90 days. That 3-month window is when the flight risk is at its absolute highest.
Is the first 90 days in commercial trucking essentially the equivalent of the freshman dropout rate in college?
Basically, yeah.
Like you arrive, the shock to your system is overwhelming, you feel completely disconnected from any support network, and you just pack up and leave before you even figure out where the cafeteria is.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
It is sensory deprivation combined with high-stakes logistics. A new driver is entirely alone in a massive metal box. They're navigating unfamiliar industrial parks, dealing with hostile loading dock managers, and managing the ticking clock of their legal driving hours. And historically, their only human contact was a muffled, impatient dispatcher over a bad cellular connection.
That sounds awful.
The isolation is crushing.
Which is why the smart fleets are deploying highly structured mentorship programs. They aren't just handing a rookie the keys and wishing them luck.
Right.
They are actively pairing them with experienced veterans during that critical 90-day window.
They're also entirely modernizing the communication loop. Progressive fleets are deploying mobile apps that give drivers a direct, immediate line to multi-departmental support.
The human stakes of that are massive. Imagine sitting in a gravel lot in Ohio at 2 a.m. Your truck is throwing an engine code, your delivery window is in 3 hours, and in the old system, you're just sitting on hold listening to elevator music.
Yeah, just hoping a night dispatcher eventually picks up. That exact scenario is why people quit. But a mobile app that connects a driver instantly to a mechanic or allows them to hit a button to alert a veteran mentor that they're confused about a specific way station protocol, it acts as a vital lifeline.
That changes everything.
It really takes an intensely solitary job and wraps it in a team-oriented safety net.
And there's also a major shift toward flexibility and transparency. And look, I know flexible scheduling sounds like standard corporate HR speak.
Oh, sure.
But we need to translate that into the reality of the physical economy. Offering regional routes and transparent home time policies isn't just a bullet point on a brochure.
Definitely not.
It is the difference between a driver missing their kid's birthday because they are stuck at a distribution center 3 states away versus a predictive algorithm that mathematically guarantees they are pulling into their own driveway by 6 p.m. on a Friday.
It restores basic human autonomy. I mean, an industry built on constant motion has historically demanded total sacrifice of a driver's personal life.
Yeah, that's so true.
So fleets that can offer transparent pay structures, where a driver knows exactly how a delay will impact their paycheck, and schedules that respect the boundaries of a weekend, they're monopolizing the top-tier talent.
But here's the catch. You can build the most advanced, supportive, tech-enabled culture in the world. You can have the AI dash cams and the veteran mentors. But if the trucking industry at large has spent the last 40 years burning out drivers, how do you bridge the gap? How do you convince a deeply cynical labor pool that your fleet is actually different? Because the old help wanted sign taped to the back of a dirty mud flap just doesn't work anymore.
No, the era of post and pray recruiting is entirely dead. Progressive fleets are utilizing hyper-targeted, data-driven recruiting that focuses aggressively on demographics, looking for stability, not just road warriors.
Interesting.
And to do that, they are fundamentally changing the lure. They're highlighting quality of life and technological investment over the traditional industry trap. The massive sign-on bonus.
So are those massive $5,000 to $10,000 sign-on bonuses just a corporate sugar rush?
That's exactly what they are.
Because it gets a desperate driver in the door, sure. But the crash comes 3 months later when the cash is spent, the taxes are paid, and the driver realizes the routing is still a nightmare and the dispatchers are still toxic.
This raises an important question, though, about authenticity in the modern labor market. A one-time cash injection cannot anesthetize a driver against a broken day-to-day experience.
Right.
Furthermore, modern drivers are highly connected. They exist in a vibrant digital ecosystem. The industry operates around a massive digital water cooler.
Oh, like the Facebook groups, the subreddits, the reviews on Glassdoor, and Indeed.
Yes, all of it.
Drivers are constantly talking to each other. They compare per mile rates, they compare dispatchers, and they name names.
A digital reputation is ruthless, and it cannot be faked with a slick marketing budget. If a fleet promises a collaborative culture and guaranteed home time in their advertisements, but their actual drivers are wrestling with unreliable ELDs and predatory scheduling.
Get exposed.
Instantly. The online community will dismantle that fleet's reputation in an afternoon. Authentic investment is the only marketing that survives scrutiny.
It demands proof over promises. And this brings us back to the source of our deep dive today. The article we are pulling from was published by Responsible Fleet, which you can actually find at responsiblefleet.com.
Yeah.
They aren't just observing the shift, they are actively providing the architectural foundation for it.
They're building it.
Exactly. They are the ones supplying the intelligent telematics, the exonerating AI dash cameras, and the seamless ELD compliance systems. They are arming these fleets with the actual tools required to make good on those cultural promises. You cannot promise a frictionless, respectful work environment if you refuse to buy the tools that remove the friction.
Right. The digital infrastructure and the cultural empathy are entirely codependent. You cannot execute the culture without the tech.
So, what does this all mean? If we step back and look at the blueprint we've just laid out for you, the driver shortage of 2026 is a terrifying macroeconomic metric, but it is not an unavoidable apocalypse for every company.
No, it's not.
The fleets actively winning the talent war are the ones treating their hardware and their humans as a single unified investment. They've realized a fundamental truth. Technology respects the worker's time, and culture respects the worker's humanity. You literally cannot have one without the other.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, consider how this exact retention strategy might bleed into your own industry.
Oh, that's a great point.
We are watching truck drivers successfully demand that artificial intelligence and biometric tracking be used to protect and exonerate them, rather than purely to surveil and punish them.
Yeah.
If the absolute hardest, most isolating blue-collar job in the country can force algorithms to act as worker advocates, could this fundamentally shift the balance of power between labor and corporate management everywhere? Right. Will this concept of pro-worker AI become the new non-negotiable baseline for every physical job in the future economy?
That is an incredibly provocative thought to leave on. If the unblinking eye of the machine actually starts working for the worker, the entire dynamic of modern labor changes.
It really does.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We hope you walk away looking at that 18-wheeler in the lane next to you a little bit differently. Keep questioning the systems that keep our world moving. Keep looking for the invisible forces shaping the physical economy. And remember, even the most catastrophic leaks can be plugged if you finally understand the mechanics of the bucket.